Hi there, you made it to the Coffee Buzz Club channel. In this video, we will talk about 5 best espresso coffee beans for 2021. If you're a frequent visitor in cafes, then you'll most likely know what espressos are. Espresso is much stronger when it comes to bitterness and caffeine content. That said, after brewing coffee beans, espresso has more dissolved coffee grounds compared to traditional coffee. That's why most business people prefer to take a shot of espresso to get their morning started. Although it might seem like any coffee bean can be used for brewing espresso, special coffee beans are actually used for this specific brew. Not that regular coffee beans can't be used, although espresso would taste much more like its description if using particular coffee beans. If you don't know which beans to get for a cup of espresso, worry not. We'll share our top picks for the best espresso beans you could brew with to start your year right. What are espresso beans? Espresso is merely a concentrated form of coffee. Although are there specific beans for brewing espresso? This video gives insight into what espresso beans are and how it differs from regular coffee beans. Espresso beans are just coffee beans that are used to brew espresso. Beans can be selected and roasted to create a certain flavor, as you'll discover, but espresso is just a coffee preparation method. Espresso is the thing in the cup at the end of the brewing process. All you need is an espresso machine and any kind of roasted coffee beans. All coffee beans can be made espresso style, and an espresso blend, or espresso beans, can be used to brew a pot of coffee. There is no product labeled exactly as espresso beans. Espresso beans just refer to the coffee beans used in making espresso. So, espresso beans aren't really espresso beans, only regular coffee beans produced in an espresso blend. Are espresso beans and coffee beans the same? Are espresso beans just regular coffee beans? Well, this video provides an explanation of how different espresso beans are from regular coffee beans. The main difference between espresso beans and regular whole bean coffee is the roast typically used for this brewing method. Roast espresso beans are often roasted longer than regular coffee beans, usually resulting in a medium to dark roast. These tend to be ideal for making espresso than light roasted beans. Espresso is a type of coffee made by brewing it in a particular way. The main difference occurs in the roast type of espresso beans, which are medium dark to dark roast. So basically, they are grown in the same way but are roasted differently. What defines a great espresso bean? Now that the definition of an espresso bean is clear, what exactly makes a great espresso bean? Homegrounds made an article about the differences between an espresso and a normal coffee bean. The article also includes an explanation of what makes an espresso bean a great one. The best beans for making espresso are medium dark to dark roasts as they are more soluble and extract more quickly. They are rich in oils, which help produce a richer crema. They also give your espresso that great consistency, body, and flavor you want in your shot. Many coffee beans meant for brewing espresso are available on the market. However, a detail you should look out to identify an excellent espresso bean is the roast type. And the ideal roast type for espresso coffee is a medium dark to dark roast. This type of roasting type gives a shot of espresso rich, clean, and consistent flavor. What's unique about espresso beans? Coffee lovers know how different each type of coffee is from one another. We now know that espresso coffee is made with specific coffee beans to achieve a rich espresso brew. But if you're thinking of using regular coffee beans to brew an espresso, how different would it be from using espresso beans? An article by Coffee Chronicler explains how unique espresso beans are from other coffee beans. There are several reasons that most cafes use a special blend for espresso and not just regular filter coffee. A lot can be said about the subject. The main reasons are as follows. Tradition. Espresso has always been roasted darker than other types of coffee. People have come to expect a certain espresso flavor that can't be achieved with regular beans. Better paired with milk. If you want to use the espresso in a milk-based drink such as a latte or cappuccino, you'll need a rather dark roast to cut through the creaminess of the milk. This is important. Cheaper. While single-origin coffee increasingly has become the way to go when it comes to filter or French press, blends are still in vogue in the espresso world. The reason for this is mainly due to cost saving. Single-origin coffee is expensive. For that reason, it makes sense to use a base of cheaper coffees from countries such as Brazil and Indonesia in the blend. Making espresso from espresso beans gives coffee lovers a better flavor, especially when paired with milk. Like the ever-popular latte or cappuccino, these are made from espresso. And since espresso gives off a specific flavor, baristas are more inclined to use espresso beans to give the customers a consistent, espresso, flavor that they love. Last but not least, using espresso beans are generally cheaper than using single-origin coffee. 5 best espresso beans to use when brewing espresso. Café Don Pablo's Subtle Earth Coffee, Medium Dark Roast. Café Don Pablo is applauded by coffee lovers everywhere. These coffee beans are just hard to beat. Café Don Pablo's beans comes from Honduras, and it gives off the perfect rich and chocolatey taste that each chocolate lover enjoys. These espresso beans are perfect for an espresso shot. Its rich taste, sweet flavor, and low acidity attract the attention of coffee connoisseurs. Not to mention that the brand also significantly considers its environmental impact. Features of the Café Don Pablo's Subtle Earth Coffee. CCOF Certified Organic. Sharing Certified Program. Rich and chocolatey flavor. Low acidity. Coffee Cult Gourmet Coffee Beans, Dark Roast. Coffee Cult has some sort of eerie vibe to their brand. Nevertheless, these espresso beans have gained the trust of coffee drinkers. Most, if not all, consumers are proud to have joined their cult for its bursting flavors. Coffee Cult beans are a blend of beans from Guatemala, Colombia, and Sumatra. All the beans used in this coffee are 100% Arabica, and it has an alluring cinnamon-infused, smooth, and bold flavor that got most of their consumers hooked. And if the flavor isn't the only thing keeping you in the cult, their fair trade and sustainable tree planting practices will keep you in for longer. Everyone who partakes in their products can contribute to the fairly paid, sustainable, and artistic approaches that the brand offers. Features of Coffee Cult's Gourmet Coffee Beans. Smooth and bold cinnamon flavor. Fair Trade Certified. Sustainable tree planting practices. Verena Street Shot Tower Espresso, Dark Roast. Verena Street's Shot Tower Espresso is said to create heaven in a morning shot of espresso. Don't believe us? Here's what we know. This blend contains the right features that can contribute to the perfect espresso shot. Its flavor presents a sweet and creamy crema. Flavor aside, the company makes sure that its products have all the right certifications that coffee can have. This product is kosher certified and is sourced through sustainable practices through Rainforest Alliance certified farms. Features of Verena Street Shot Tower Espresso. Sweet and creamy crema. Kosher certified. Sourced from Rainforest Alliance certified farms. Sustainably grown. Lifeboost Espresso Coffee Beans. Lifeboost is known for its organically grown coffee beans. For this organic espresso bean list, the brand makes its way again to conquer the coffee industry with its superb quality and sustainable practices. Their espresso beans are grown on the mountainshade and are roasted to order. Lifeboost ensures the freshest beans in each pack. This Lifeboost espresso beans will brew the best espresso you've ever had. Its taste features a smooth chocolatey and dark caramel goodness with hints of fruitiness in its aroma. Besides flavor, these beans are USDA organic and fair trade certified and are grown ethically. What's more is that the beans used for each bag of Lifeboost coffees are hand-picked, sun-dried, and are masterfully roasted. Choosing this for your daily dose of caffeine will improve your overall health, productivity, and mood. And nothing feels better than drinking a safe and well-produced coffee. Features of Lifeboost Espresso Coffee. Ethically grown under the mountain shade at high altitudes. Smooth chocolate and dark caramel taste. Hand-picked and hand-roasted. USDA Organic and Fair Trade Certified. Lavazza Super Crema, Medium Roast. Lavazza has nothing on those common and cheap espresso beans on the market. With Lavazza, you'll get quality and flavor at a lower price. Lavazza's Super Crema is a blend of Brazilian, Central American, and Indonesian coffee beans, which produces a subtle sweet flavor. What coffee drinkers love about this product is that it has the right amount and long-lasting crema. Its taste isn't exactly persistent, but this coffee is advertised to be mild, so the product appears as it is advertised. This is particularly good for people who aren't fond of strong coffees and prefer to have a lighter taste. Features of Lavazza Super Crema. Subtle sweet flavor. Mild coffee taste. Good amount and long-lasting crema. Affordable price. Is espresso stronger than coffee? Coffee can be made using many methods. Out of all the other types of coffee, is espresso the strongest one? An article by Tasting Table reveals that espresso may or may not be the strongest among the different types. A serving of regular drip coffee has more caffeine than a shot of espresso. According to the USDA, one 1.5-ounce shot of espresso has around 90 to 100 milligrams of caffeine. As a result, the caffeine jolt comes on faster and stronger than when leisurely sipping a cup of the extra dark roast. Although a shot of espresso is considered strong in taste, a serving of drip coffee actually has more caffeine than an espresso shot. The amount of caffeine determines the strength of a coffee beverage, and espresso has been beaten in this case. Is espresso roast coffee the same as espresso? One might wonder if the term espresso roast coffee is the same as espresso. Steve Frankel answers the same query on Quora. Espresso is a drink made from any roasted coffee beans with an espresso machine. Espresso roast is a blend of coffee beans. No, espresso roast is not the same as espresso, as the former refers to the blend of coffee beans used in brewing espresso, while the latter is the beverage made with an espresso machine. Why does single origin matter? Single origin coffee beans means that the beans are sourced from a single producer in one country. Does this matter when purchasing espresso coffee beans? An article by Bulletproof explains its significance in choosing coffee. Single origin coffee is more than just a way to enjoy the unique taste of beans from a specific region. It's also a way to help small farms sustain themselves while supporting the production of high-quality coffee. If you're a coffee drinker that prefers a certain taste of coffee, then single origin coffee beans might be important for you. Aside from that, buying single origin coffee can be one way of supporting small farms while drinking high-quality coffee. But for those who like to enjoy different blends of beans from different regions, it might not matter as much. What is the strongest espresso coffee? Coffee has always been known to have a strong taste. Drip coffees and espressos are two of the strongest type of coffees one can consume. But if that's the case, then which espresso is the strongest out of all of them? An article by Homegrounds lists the world's strongest coffee and reveals the strongest among the strong. The strength of the coffee is a subjective experience. However, from an objective viewpoint, lab tests indicate that Biohazard coffee is the strongest in the world, containing a whopping 928 mg dose of caffeine in each 12-ounce mug. That's more than twice the daily upper limit in one serving. Coffee and laboratory experts have spoken about the Biohazard coffee brand, and to this day, it's known to be the strongest espresso coffee ever made. Some even say it could be fatal for your health. Listen to the experts and be very wary when drinking this coffee. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give this video a thumbs up, it really helps with the channel to grow. Click that subscribe button and the bell notification. See you in the next one.